Okay, so you are not going to believe this story we found. It's from Reddit, First of Redditor updates, and it's wow.
Oh, yeah, I read through it. It's quite the ride. This guy, 25, right? Married nearly 4 years.
Yep. And he finds out his wife, she's 24, has secretly racked up $12,000
Mm,
in debt, credit cards, taxes, the whole shebang.
12 grand. Oof. And hidden, too. That's the kicker.
Totally hidden. Like, how does that even happen? Apparently, she was kind of put in charge of the finances from the start.
Right, because her family were supposedly these, like, budgeting wizards, super frugal.
Exactly. And he admits, he just wasn't interested. Finance stuff bored him. So he was like, great, you handle it. Big mistake. Huge.
Well, it seems logical at the time, maybe, if someone seems good at it and you hate it. But yeah, that set the stage for problems.
Big time. First clue something was off. Taxes. Year one, he did some freelance stuff. So, quarterly estimated payments needed doing.
Ah, the joy of freelance taxes.
Right. She volunteers to handle it all. He's thrilled. Then tax time hits and bam, massive IRS bill, like massive, with a ton of late fees.
Because she hadn't paid anything.
Not a dime. Zero estimated payments sent. Nothing.
Wow. And what was the excuse there?
She said she misunderstood how estimated taxes work.
Okay, maybe a genuine mistake, but that's a pretty significant misunderstanding with serious consequences. Those penalties aren't fun.
Seriously. But he kind of let it slide. Talked it up to an honest dare, I guess. Didn't want to make a big deal.
Which, in hindsight, maybe wasn't the best move. That was the first crack, really. Communication breakdown right there.
Totally. Okay, fast forward a bit. They're moving. You set up utilities, standard stuff. Water company runs a credit check, and they need a big deposit, like surprisingly big. That's red flag number 2, right?
Definitely waving. So he checks his credit.
Yeah, he looked at his report. Nothing too crazy, short history, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's this line. Average balance on all accounts above 30%.
Okay, that 30% utilization mark is something lenders watch. It can ding your score.
Right. And they started with like a $2,000 limit on their shared card. So he's thinking, okay, maybe $600. Not great, but manageable.
Makes sense.
He asks her about it, and she's super casual. Oh, yeah, sorry, slipped my mind. I'll pay it down next month.
Famous last words in these situations sometimes.
You know it. But here's the thing he didn't know yet. That $2,000 limit.
It wasn't $2,000 anymore.
Nope. She'd gotten increased secretly to $5,000. So that 30% warning. They were way past just $600.
Oh, wow. So she downplayed it even then, and he just accepted her explanation again.
Seems like it. Maybe because he still really didn't want to deal with the finances himself. Easier to just believe her.
It highlights how important it is for both people to have at least some awareness, doesn't it? Even if one person primarily manages things.
Absolutely. Then comes the big reveal. He's on their shared computer. She sits down next to him. He quickly closes the browser window, but too late.
What did he see?
A PDF, credit card statement. Just open there. Her reaction. Instant panic. Close that. Now, like full meltdown.
But he saw the number.
He saw the number. $4,900.
Yeah.
$4,900.
Okay, so confrontation time.
Yep. Tears, confession. Sorta. She says it just spiraled. She was overwhelmed. Didn't want to stress him out. Standard stuff. But then she drops this bomb.
What did she say?
She says, and get this, it all started when you stopped working from home and got a job. I didn't realize you're going to make a lot less money.
Wait, what? Didn't he get a raise when he got the new job?
He absolutely did. That's what's so messed up. He pointed out, no, I make more now. The less money was because taxes were being withheld properly. Plus, he started a 401k, better health insurance, responsible adult things.
So she blamed his responsible financial behavior for her secret debt.
That's quite a deflection.
Okay.
And shows a real lack of understanding still.
Seriously. He called her out on it, obviously. So they have the big sit down. Promises of total honesty, transparency, the works. They set up YMA. You need a budget. Good tool for getting clarity. So she puts everything in.
So he thought, while they're doing this big financial deep dive day, he notices, one card seems to be missing from the wannabe setup.
Uh-oh.
He asks her straight up, what about the Amex?
And her response.
Looks him right in the eye, dead serious. Says, oh, that, like $400, $600 on it. Hardly use it. I'll pay it off this month. We can close it.
And after just finding out about the $4,900 secret balance, he believed her.
He bought it. Can you believe? I think he just really wanted to believe things were finally getting fixed,
Yeah, that desire for things to be okay can be strong. But lying again immediately after the first confession, that's a really bad sign, minimizing the problem.
Tell me about it. Okay, fast forward to the morning he wrote the Reddit post. The absolute breaking point. He logs into their accounts to check on things, plan the debt payoff.
And the Amex.
The Amex balance wasn't $400, $600. It was $3,534.39.
Oh.
$334.39.
Oh, my God.
Instead, the balance on the other card, the one she did put in YNA, it was a full $1,000 higher than what she'd entered.
How?
She faked payments.
Yeah.
She literally typed in 2 made-up $500 payments into YNA that never actually happened.
Okay, that's not just overspending or losing track anymore. That's active, deliberate deception, creating fake transactions. That's wow.
Right. It's straight up manipulation.
Yeah.
And the worst part, while he'd been eating like plain chicken and broccoli, trying to save every single cent.
Let me guess, the statement showed.
Yep. Restaurant charges multiple times a week while he was at work. Plus tons of other random spending just blowing up their budget. The whole plan to pay off half the debt by year end. Completely torched.
I can only imagine how he felt. That's not just about money, is it? It's the lying, the disrespect, the feeling of being played for a fool.
Exactly. He said he felt physically sick. The trust was just gone, shattered. Remembering her looking him in the eye and lying about the Amex, he started seriously thinking about divorce.
Understandable. It goes way beyond finances at that point. It's about the fundamental partnership.
Yeah.
Honesty, shared goals, everything.
So he puts it all out there on Reddit. Am I overreacting? Can this marriage be saved? What do I do?
And the comments poured in, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Total spectrum. Get therapy, run away, take control of the money immediately. Questions about why she wasn't working more since she was in school and he was paying.
All valid points, really. Therapy seems essential. Regaining financial control is practical. And questioning the equity in the partnership makes sense, too.
Okay, so then we get update number 1. About a month later, and they're still together.
Oh, okay. So they decided to try and work through it.
Looks like it. He's taken over all the finances now. Using Mint apparently finds it pretty helpful, even if the net worth figure makes him queasy.
Smart move to take control. Using an app like Mint definitely helps with transparency. What about the credit cards?
She freely gave them up. But get this, he didn't cut them up. He hid them, just in case. Like a subscription needed paying or something.
Hiding them. Interesting tactic. Removes the temptation, maybe, but doesn't fully close the door. It's a choice.
Yeah, kind of weird, right? But the problems weren't over. Not by a long shot. He's checking her debit card daily now.
And finding things.
Finding little unauthorized purchases.
Yeah.
Multiple times a week. And the excuses are just wild.
Like what?
Like $20 withdrawn because she supposedly bought Girl Scout cookies from a client's daughter.
Yeah.
But she's gluten-free, so she just gave the money away.
Yeah.
But then there's a Starbucks cup in the car she can't explain.
Oh, boy. So the dishonesty is continuing, just on a smaller scale. And the excuses are flimsy.
Totally. He says he feels like he's policing a child, which he hates. It's killing the intimacy, obviously.
And that's the danger, isn't it? The dynamic shifts completely. You go from partners to, like, warden and inmate is not healthy or sustainable and breeds resentment.
For sure. He starts thinking back, why he fell for her.
Yeah.
Said she seemed so mature, independent, ambitious. Like a Claire Underwood type was his comparison.
Okay, that's an intense comparison, but I get the idea. Strong, driven.
Right. But now he's wondering if he just saw what he wanted to see, ignored warning signs. Because the reality now, it's the total opposite. He feels stuck. Letting it slide is bad, but policing her feels just as bad.
That idealization versus reality clash is tough. When the person you thought you married feels completely different from the person you're living with, especially because of their actions. It causes a lot of internal conflict.
And he feels like he's the only one actually trying to fix the root problems. Like the debt happened partly because she wasn't working much while in school, which he paid for. Now with the debt, he asks her to maybe look into scholarships.
Reasonable request.
Her response, probably won't qualify, wasted time. It never looks. Zero effort.
Ouch. That's not showing much initiative or willingness to contribute to the solution, is it?
Nope. Same deal with therapy. Everyone on Reddit screamed, therapy. He asked her to find someone, maybe couples counseling later. A month goes by, nothing. He has to remind her daily for a week. Now she just avoids the topic.
That lack of follow-through on things that could genuinely help scholarships, therapy is really concerning.
Right.
It reinforces his feeling of being alone in this. You need both people pulling in the same direction.
So update 1 ends on a pretty bleak note. He hasn't forgiven her. He's resentful, scared. Leaving sounds awful, but staying in this cycle of lies and anxiety sounds just as bad. He's trapped.
Yeah, that's a really tough place to be. The financial stress is one thing, but the emotional toll of the betrayal, the lack of trust, the feeling of being stuck, it's immense. No easy answers there.
Hold on to your hats, because then, 10 months later, a final update appears.
10 months. Okay, and what happened? Don't leave me hanging.
But surprisingly positive. They are still together, still say they're in love,
Yeah.
and they are completely debt-free.
Debt-free after all that? How? That's amazing, actually.
Right, apparently the key was counseling. They actually went. Big win for the Reddit commenters there.
Okay, that's huge. Professional help can make a massive difference. What else changed?
She stayed in school, but she also went into overdrive with work, extra hours, side hustles, babysitting, dog sitting. He jokingly mentioned face sitting, but said kidding. So who knows? The point is, she worked her butt off.
Okay, so she really stepped up financially, took responsibility.
Seems like it. And she apparently got way better at controlling the impulse spending. Sacrificed nights, weekends. Her grades dipped a bit, but now that the debt's gone, she can ease up on work and focus on school again.
Wow, that shows real commitment. Taking on extra work, changing ingrained spending habits. That's not easy. Combined with counseling, it sounds like a genuine effort.
He says it felt like they aged 10 years in those 10 months. He admits he might sound a little uppity, but he's just thrilled. Says communication is better, money management is sorted, they're doing cheap dates, cooking more, cutting back on booze, just healthier all around.
That sense of relief and accomplishment must be huge. Overcoming something like that together when it looks so bleak, that's a major achievement. The uppity tone is totally understandable.
Yeah, he feels things couldn't have turned out better, honestly. Gives a big shout out to Reddit, especially Air Personal Finance and Read Cheap and Healthy for tips.
Resources.
So the TLDR is massive financial crisis, followed by a serious course correction involving counseling, hard work, communication, and lifestyle changes. And now they're apparently stronger for it.
It's a genuinely hopeful outcome, considering where they started in that first update. Being debt-free and having better systems is fantastic.
But yeah, the trust thing, that's the elephant in the room, isn't it?
It really is. They fixed the practical problem. The debt is gone. They have a budget. But that level of betrayal, the repeated lying, the manipulation, rebuilding trust after that is a whole different mountain to climb.
Exactly. 10 months is a chunk of time, but is it enough to truly heal from finding out your partner basically built a secret financial life? Can you ever really fully trust again after something like that?
It's the central question, I think. Financial infidelity cuts deep. It shakes the very foundation of the relationship. Their story shows that practical repair and even reconciliation are possible, which is encouraging.
Yeah, definitely shows it can be done.
But it also leaves you wondering about the long, long road of rebuilding that fundamental belief in your partner's honesty. It's complex, deeply personal, and probably an ongoing process for them. Makes you think about what lines can and can't be uncrossed in a partnership.